recording. Today is the 30th of August and it's time for yet another very vague, not particularly interesting and probably quite boring vlog. Those of you who've been following the channel for a couple of months now will know that we've had some changes in the fleet that we have. And the latest change is something that we haven't actually talked about before at all. It's the fact that the 2017 Mercedes C200 Sport Estate that my mother bought new in 2017, that has gone. It's been sold. It's something that had been sort of discussed for quite a long time within the family, but it was only actually when my sister came over with my nephew, who's 18 months old, that we decided that actually now was probably quite a good time to get rid of it. It's gone to Langley Prestige in Chelmsford, who, yes, I've supplied lots of cars for the channel before, and Simon, who runs the place, he's been after that car for a number of years. Every time he just sees it, he's asking me if he can help me. And yes, well he could. I looked at the price on I think motorway.co.uk or something, and it wasn't too different from what I was offered, but when trading into a used car dealer, particularly reputable one, you kind of know they're not going to mess you around, and Simon, he didn't mess me around at all. The price that he gave me was the same that we discussed a few weeks previously, and he just had a trade to pick it up, and it's gone. So that's where it is. The car's done 28,000 miles, and there are no faults with it at all, really. There are some marks on the bodywork. One of them was actually done within the first few months my mother owned the car, which is when she went on holiday. I think it was Bristol Airport or something she parked at, and the marks weren't there when she left the country, and when she came back they were there, and the company took no responsibility for it whatsoever, despite the fact the car was about 3-4 months old. So that wasn't very good. Apart from that, not much to say really. We had it serviced first of all at Mercedes-Benz main dealer, which was very expensive, so we then used a couple of specialists, latter of which was in June. There was a ownership report actually on the car which explains a bit more about that. But the thing is, the rear space in that car is quite cramped. Like fitting my nephew's child seat has always been a bit of a problem for some reason. And the boot's not very big. Like the buggy that he has when he's over here, it barely fits in the boot. You've got to take the parcel shuffle almost completely out to put it in, and then you've got no space for anything else. So in terms of the family car, it's quite poor really. It's surprisingly bad. Like the rear space in this SsangYong is much better. It's much better actually. It's probably easier to put a child seat in as well, because the car is a bit higher up than the Mercedes. The infotainment system as well is quite dated, not because it's a particularly bad system or anything, it's just because in 6 years infotainment systems have really changed. It's a very small system that doesn't have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Those were optional at the time. The facelifted models that came in the next year, that was made standard, and the system was improved. But this is the older system, and it's fine. It just, you know, it's not the best. There are some strange omissions in the car's spec. Like you get a full collision warning, which triggers itself all the time, but you don't get blind spot monitoring or lane keep assist or anything like that. You don't get anything like that, which is strange. I mean, the car, it was about £35,000 new. This is back in the day when you could get enormous discounts on new cars, even ones like a Mercedes, and so my mother paid £27.5 for it. Obviously that was one of my very first car sourcing jobs, was that car. We got it from a dealership in Maidstone because that was where the best price was back in the day. The C-Class now, for £27.5 with that kind of spec on it, pipe dream really. So it's held its value quite well, and given it cost about £1,000 to service at the specialist and have an MOT this time, and the rate of labour there isn't actually that bad. I think it's £75 an hour, which is quite good for that kind of place. It's at the parts, like you know, if you want a gearbox service, you have to replace the entire sump on the gearbox, and you've got to use Mercedes-Benz. Oh dear viewers, that went typically badly. I do apologise. That's not the best, really, is it, when your mount just falls off the screen? But it's unfortunately typical of what goes on this channel in general. So it's a number of hours later, and we're in a completely different part of the country, but we shall continue. So my sister came over to this country. She normally lives abroad with my nephew, and yeah, the car just wasn't really suitable for what we really needed. Boot's a bit small, rear space isn't very good, especially with a child seat, and the car actually was worth quite a lot of money. I mean, because of the crazy second-hand car prices that have been around the last couple of years, it's about sort of early 2020. The value of that car is actually quite good. It's only done 28,000 miles, and you know, Simon Lanny Prestige for years has been after me saying, if you ever want to sell it, just let me know. So that's what we did, and he took it away. I've got a couple of other things to post too. I've just realised that a couple of things were left in the car that shouldn't have been, and that's it really. What would we replace that car with? I don't really know. At the moment, we don't really need to replace it at all. I've got access to the SsangYong, but my lady wife normally drives this, but I'm driving it at the moment because I'm taking it to Mr. Coleman for a service at his uncle's garage, where I always get it done. And we've got the Volvo, that's pretty good, the S40, the blue one. Soon the 460 is going, we don't really need that anymore. So we've got two cars to get us around, and also very soon, and I'll be checking on this in a few minutes time actually, because I'm on my way to Mr. Coleman's house right now. We have the Rover 216, so we're quite well surfaced up. Even if we put the 216 away in a garage over winter, which we might do because one of my friends has offered me to put it in there, then we've still got two cars to use, so we might not need to replace the Mercedes at all. We could put the money into my mother's bank account and just leave it there. If we need to replace it, I know what I would replace it with. I can pretty much tell you straight away what I would replace it with. But we'll just see how it goes, actually, I think. My lady wife is just keen to just not have too many cars lying around. I mean, I'd love to have some more, but I don't think she's too keen on that idea. So that's it, really. Mercedes, we don't really need it. My mother doesn't need it. If we take her out in the car somewhere, then we've got other cars to use. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. It's a sensible time to get rid of it, as it doesn't particularly suit the need that we have at the moment. That's it, really. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like to comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for more incredibly vague and very boring musing.